All right, tubers, Madame Roy back once again. What are we on? Day 3 of this week-long live stream event. And I have finally got this working on Google Chrome. As most of you guys probably know by now, I've had to do the first 2 live streams using Mozilla Firefox. And that is not my choice of browser, really. I've always used Chrome, had the best luck with Google Chrome. But for the last 2 nights, have not been able to get Google's live streaming service to actually function properly with Chrome. Well, turns out I needed to reset my permissions. That was actually the problem. I had to go in and I had to reset permissions. I had to set my webcam and my microphone to allow instead of ask. So that was my bad. Should have known better, but I've never run into the problem before. And if you've never run into a problem before, chances are it might take you a day or 2 to figure it out. Well, I see I'm talking to nobody at the moment, but that's okay because I've started a few minutes early. Just going through the garage sale advertisements locally on the Facebook Marketplace. Nothing really, to be honest with you. Nothing even remotely close to my area. Wow. I know, but it's very typical of this time of the year. Back to school time, beginning to the end of September, really the whole month of September is very bad for garage sales because the kids are going back to school. Parents have to get all the stuff that the kids need for school. They got to get them back to school. They got to make sure that everything's going well at school. They don't necessarily have time to clean out their houses and, basically get stuff ready for a garage sale. But don't worry. Don't fret, I should say. Garage sales should be coming back full swing in about another month or 2. Mr. Baxter, what are you up to, buddy? Baxter's shut in because he was here. Mom's watching something in the other room, and it was getting very loud, so I needed to shut my door. If I can get Mom to come in and maybe open the door real quick, that would be great. Come in and maybe open the door. And, wow, okay, that actually sounds good. I was just checking the mic volume. It still shows that we have nobody here at the live stream. I don't necessarily believe that because I know that counter can be a little outdated at times, let's say. I'm telling you, I have done a lot of work today, so I'm a little punchy right now. So forgive me if I can't think of the right words every single time, but it happens to the best of us. What you doing, bud? Funny, funny cat. Just wait here a few minutes. Sounds like somebody is trying to call me. I don't know on what. Hang on a sec. I'll be right back. Okay. Yeah, I have no idea who this is. Somebody's trying to call me on Skype. You could see their YouTube name right there. Let me pick this up. Let me see who this is. Hello? Hello? Is anybody there? Hello? I have no idea. That was weird. Some random girl. When I answered, some random girl, actually really hot, honestly, just picked up. So must be a scam or something. I don't know. Do you guys ever get that with Skype? That's actually the second time that I believe that person has tried to get a hold of me. I don't know who the heck they are. Maybe it's one of you people out there. Maybe it's one of my fans. I have no idea. Moving on, I guess. We'll try to figure that out later. If I figure out who it is, I'll let you guys know in the next live stream. So we have 2 minutes until this live stream officially starts. For the one person that's here early, the only reason I'm going right now is I wanted to make sure I got all the bugs worked out of Google Chrome. That way I could actually do the live stream with my choice of browser, and Chrome is always my choice. It's actually a really good question. Let me pose that to you, my YouTube audience. What is your favorite browser? And I'm not going to limit it to Chrome, Firefox, or Internet Explorer, or Edge. I mean, those are the mainstream ones, but there are a lot of other third-party browsers out there that probably I don't even know about. So that's a good question. What is your favorite? That's my question to you tonight. What is your favorite browser and why? Don't just tell me what your favorite browser is. I want to know why you like that browser. Baxter's stuck in here. He is so funny, this cat. And he's sitting up at the top of the stairs doing this. Like really cutesy with kind of like a grin on his face. What you doing, B? Baxter? Big B Baxter? He's just chilling out right now. Paul Kane said Firefox. Reason being net zero because it's the oldest I can remember. So it's nostalgic for you. Huh? That's a good reason, I guess. Though, to be perfectly honest with you, I do like Firefox, even though I primarily use Google Chrome because of the features. I would have to say in a race that Chrome and Firefox are about tied when it comes to security. I don't use Microsoft Internet Explorer or Edge, whichever one your operating system uses at this point. If it's Windows 10, it's probably Edge, mainly because they don't update it enough. Microsoft updates their browser maybe once, twice a month at most. Usually it's once a month, usually with a Windows update, whereas Chrome and Firefox update about at once a week at least, sometimes even more than that. So they're actively fixing bugs and security holes in those browsers, and that's why I would stick with one of those two. Or again, if you guys have one that you like better than that, let me know. Paul Kane, I use Firefox because it works best on my generation of Mac. I'm thinking that you probably have a Power PC Mac. If not, let me know. But I remember back in the day when I used to run Mac G4s, G5s, and this was maybe 5-6 years ago. I used to run 10.4 Fox, which was a version of Firefox, because Firefox does not officially support the Power PC platform anymore. But 10.4 Fox is a project where would take not necessarily the latest version of Firefox, but close to it, and they would augment the code to work on the older Power PC platform. And actually did a pretty good job. I mean, I remember my last Power PC was probably a G5. It was like a dual 1.8 or a dual 2 gigahertz processor desktop. And up until about 2015, I was able to run and watch YouTube videos fairly well on that computer. But now, with all the new JavaScripts, it's just impossible. It's really sad, too, because the Power PCs were very, very capable computers. And it's kind of sad that Apple didn't keep with that platform. They went with Intel in 2006. Windows 7, yeah, it's so cool. Well, we're talking about browsers, but if you're using Windows 7, then you're probably using Firefox, because I don't know if the latest version of Chrome is fully compatible with 7 anymore. Eric goes, I've been trying to get into Brave browser. I know you sent me some information on that. I'll have to look into that. Matter of fact, let me pull that up so I remember to do it once this live stream's over. There we go. I-386. A buddy of mine, me and him have a saying, you may like it. It is, oh, Windows 98 is so cool. It has to be in caps. Windows 98 fanboy. Okay. I, I like Windows 98. As a matter of fact, I have a couple of vintage gateways, essential PCs that are still running Windows 98, mainly because I like the games for Windows 98. But I would have to say that I prefer my Windows 2000 system because about 90 to 95% of the games that I could play on Windows 95, 98 also will play on Windows 2000, and Windows 2000 is way more stable. But that's not to say I didn't like Windows 98. Windows 98 was a marked improvement over Windows 95, but just didn't have the stability of something like Windows 2000 Professional, my favorite. Yes, Eric, I do remember those netbooks with the Atom processors. And yeah, they did not have a lot of power, even when they came out around, what was it, 2009, 2010. Nowadays, I couldn't even imagine using one of those. Somebody actually wanted to trade me one the other day, and I just said, no, I just can't think of something to use it for. Did you guys hear that? Baxter, Baxter, come on, bud. Come on, come say hi. He's cooing because he really wants out right now. Michael Gardner, what are your thoughts on the ATI 3D Rage 2? It's been a long time since I've used that card. I remember that Diamond Electronics used to make a lot of those cards. I guess ATI kind of contracted out to them. Yeah, the Rage 2. Okay. The Rage 2 was one of the first cards that incorporated DVD playback capability. And we're talking like 1997, 1998. It was a good card, especially for 3D gaming in the day. Back then, you were really pressed for choice. You had the ATI cards like the Rage 2. You had the, my mind's a blank right now, whatever the one that the Mac had. I think it was another Rage, but it wasn't the Rage 2. It was like the Mirage card, I think they called it. You did have the Matrox graphics cards, Matrox, but they were kind of the lower end budget cards. And then you, of course, you had your NVIDIA cards like the Tridents, the NVIDIA GeForce TNT2s. Between the two cards for compatibility, back then I probably would have went with the NVIDIA card because more games were, how can I say it, less buggy with that versus the ATI Rage cards. But that's not to say they weren't good cards. They were. But driver-wise, NVIDIA always seemed to have a tiny leg up over ATI. I386. Oh, Mark Covington's here. Hey, Mark. I386. I did not feel good at night last night. Still went to work. Got real weak during doing some things outside. I went back in, sat down to rest, and got a text I may start a new job next week. Well, I'm sorry to hear that you weren't feeling well, but I mean, it's good that you sound like you'll be starting a new job. Now, when you start feeling really weak like that, at least in my experience, one of two things. It's either your blood sugar's low or you're dehydrated. So what I would recommend, eat and drink something. And of course, it could be a bug, but if it's like a little stomach bug, they'll usually go away in a day or two. You guys see Baxter back there? Come on. You want to go in the box? Want to go in the box, B? B box. BB box. Hey, bud. What you doing? Want to say hi to the YouTube audience? They always like to see you. He's a stinker. He'll sit in there for like hours on end if I let him. And I usually do. You're a good kitty. Yeah. You're a handsome kitty. Good boy. Well, we'll let him relax in there while I scurry back to this webcam. Haha, what's going on? Seat, I think Baxter. Who's in the seat? I think Baxter. You're right. He's in his box at the moment. He's actually feeling very relaxed. I'm glad because there are times that he could be pretty rambunctious, though I think Milo still has a leg up on Baxter, at least in the energy category. I36 said, I feel great. The text is a blessing because my job is stressful for me. I overdid it cleaning up behind the store. I get a lot of mess and it gets a mess and the manager thinks I'm the only one who can do it. Yeah, and the thing is about that is if you are the only one that ever does it, then they'll expect you to do it all the time. You coming in? Yeah, if you want. Mom's coming in to say hi.
He's waiting.
Do you see him?
Baxter. I did.
You can pull up a chair if you want.
Yeah.
You might scare him, but
what you doing?
It doesn't matter. Actually, do it on this side so they can see.
Sure.
Oh, never mind. Baxter left anyway.
If we can get in.
Mom wanted to come in and say hi.
Hello.
We got 6 people. Actually, pretty light tonight. To be honest with you, the other 2 nights we had quite a few more watchers, but it is Friday night. So I think people have a lot better things to do than come to the live stream. Isn't it weird with this webcam? It literally can't focus on more than one person.
Yeah, I look kind of faded.
Mom's always going to be a little blurry at the moment.
Good, that's good.
Chris Bartlett says you're looking lovely.
Oh, thank you, Chris.
I386 wants to rant. You know what? At this point, if you got the new job, I wouldn't even bother. You know what? What was that song? You could take this job and shove it. I mean, don't tell that to your boss, really, because you don't want to burn bridges.
Absolutely.
But you can sing that to everybody else once you start the new job. Got 7 people here. I am still peeling. I don't know if I told you guys this, but the first day that we were up at my uncle's house, I was making my chicken salad, my famous chicken salad, and I wasn't used to the knife that he has, and with my spatial issues, I wound up cutting myself pretty deep, and it's just healed now, but the problem I'm having is a lot of dead skin. I hope I don't gross anybody out there, but it's literally just finished healing now. So it took about 2 weeks?
I have something that'll cut it off.
Yeah, I probably do too. I think I have.
The clippers would probably work too.
Where are those clippers? It's driving me crazy.
You didn't have any Sharpies. You borrowed them from me.
I know, right? And let me do this real quick because this is driving me absolutely crazy. If I don't wind up cutting myself at the same time.
Do it.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Oh, that works pretty well. Yeah, you guys probably don't want to see that. And another thing you can use, you guys always ask me about things that I get from Dollar Tree that are really, really handy. And lately they've had these in stock. These are Amopay. I know it looks weird, right? But these are Amopay, like a nail buffer. It comes with different ends. Like it's got one that has a buffing tool that you can buff your nails.
And some that you can file, right?
But this one, is a file. So you can turn this on and you can file your nails, but you can also use it to remove the dead skin. Now, it's not the strongest thing in the world, but it gets the job done. And I think the battery's probably dying in this. Little design flaw with this. They only put in a capacity for 1 AA battery. They probably should have went with 2. Would have given it a little bit more power.
Definitely.
Reviews for noobs. How old is your mom? I'm guessing 60.
I love you. But women don't say their age.
No, women don't. Chris Barlow, I did that one. I'm working volunteering and told the lady in charge to shove it. Well, a lot more swearing than that. She was nasty to me. Yeah, I know. We as a society, we need to try to be nicer to each other, but there are times that I've had it out with bosses, coworkers, people that how can I say this? Friends that are no longer friends. Kind of things like that.
I think we all do.
Mark goes, never ask a woman her age. Good man. That's right.
What did he say, Chris said?
She is older than me. I'm 62.
How does he know that?
I don't know. Have you ever told him your age before?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
never did unless you gave it away.
I don't think I did. I hope I didn't. Michael Gardner, I'm thinking of buying a Riva 128 for a socket 5 Pentium HP system. The Riva was kind of the budget version of that card. It's okay. I have one in one of my older. What do I have the Riva in? The Riva I have in my Dell Dimension 233, the Pentium 2, my DOS gaming system. And it does a good job. I have to say that would be a good choice for the most part. You just got to remember when you get older hardware like that, you really need to look it over and make sure you get a guarantee. Like if you're buying this from on eBay, make sure that the seller accepts returns because there is a good chance you might get a faulty card.
You did say
I
that.
must have said it
You
at
must
one
said it
time. I
once.
didn't remember.
How old she was at her birthday.
Mike Paradin from
his sister
Canada
told
says
her.
hi.
Hello.
Mark Covington, hey Matt, my computer earlier started to not let me open apps. What will I need to do next time this problem occurs? Well, the first thing you always want to do is, have you tried turning it off and on again? Seriously, though, that's the very first thing you want to do. Make sure that you're logged into your Microsoft account. I mean, that could be part of the problem. Other than that, maybe just run a virus scan too. That it could be some type of infection. There are viruses out there that will prevent you from opening your apps, believe it or not. So try those few things. Hopefully that fixes the problem. I386 said, we had a manager that would shove carts around in the back room and he would throw pallets.
Oh, wow.
I understand. Yeah, I'm telling you, I understand his anger. We had words a few times, but he was a great manager and he liked me sometimes. Sounds like a bipolar personality to me. I mean, I could be that way too sometimes. I could be a real tool at times. You can ask her.
On the whole, you're good.
Well, thank you. Does your mom like computers? Sonic Wang asks.
I can use one, but I don't know anything about the internal workings of one.
She likes what she can do with them, but as for like a hobby, no, not really.
I just put up with all your stuff.
Eric goes, Eric Brunhammer, this netbook has been doing Linux updates for about 45 minutes now through the terminal. I'm actually surprised because, you know, even though they're pretty underpowered, I mean, I think you said you're running something like Puppy Linux on that netbook, and that should actually run pretty well on the Atom processor. It may just depend on the version of Linux, though. I know Puppy Linux, I know there are a bunch of different versions of that. Linux Mint Mate. There's your answer right there. Linux Mint, although it's lighter than something like Ubuntu, it's still bulkier operating system than like Puppy Linux. I would try to run Puppy Linux on there. Said it runs pretty nice, but those updates are taking forever. Well, you know, it is Friday night. Maybe everybody's at home trying to update their version of Linux.
Very well could be.
They might be taxing the server right now. It may not even be the computer at all. It could just be the Linux server that's being taxied at the moment. That happens with YouTube sometimes. I almost lost that. Oh, my goodness. See if I missed anybody here. We got 9 watchers and 8 likes. Awesome. Right. I'm going to be curious to see tomorrow night when I do the live stream if we have more watchers. I know that Saturday nights can be bad like Friday nights. Let's see if we can at least get up to 20 people. Merle Haggard. I don't know anything about country music. Not at least not him. Mark Covington, what if I try everything you just mentioned to help cure my computer, but the problem helps? Do you think it could be a hard drive issue? I would have no idea. What I told you to do is about what I could tell you to do, like over the phone. If it's anything more than that, you probably have to have somebody come over and look at it. Eric Primal goes, yeah, everybody else is having a wild Friday night updating their Linux. LOL. I'm sure they're not, but things happen. Oh, we got 10 people here. I actually wound up starting this about 5 minutes early, and most of them know why, but suffice to say, to make a long story short, I was having issues with Google Chrome working with the YouTube live stream service. And it was because I needed to reset the permissions, which is something I should have known to do. But because I never ran into the problem before, it took me about a day to figure it out. And I updated Google Chrome, I updated Windows, and I still couldn't get it to work. But once I reset the permissions, started working right off again. Dad's doing fine. Dad's downstairs watching TV.
Yeah, that's doing well. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Sonic Wang, I have a cheap Wi-Fi dongle off eBay for $2. Why my net speed is 100 megabits per second, but runs at only 5. I have restarted the modem, no luck. You kind of answered your question there. It's a $2 Wi-Fi dongle on eBay. Generally, when I refurbish computers, I always put a cheap Wi-Fi dongle with them. Usually it's one similar to what you're talking about. With those, you're only looking at getting at max maybe 10 or 15 megabits per second throughput. They do that for a reason, because if they sold them that cheap and they gave you the throughput of something like an N600, like a Netgear N600 or an N900 card, which would cost you about $50 or $60, then people wouldn't buy those. They just buy the cheap $2 or $3 ones. So yeah, that's your problem right there. It's just because it's a cheap one. There are other ones you can get that are better than that, but they are going to cost you some more. The one that comes to mind is one that they sell at Office Depot, Office Max. It's a TP-Link N600 dual band wireless N card, but I think it costs like $20, and it's worth it though. I mean, it actually will give you good Wi-Fi bandwidth and good throughput. Milo and Baxter are doing just fine. They were here a few minutes ago, but when Mom came and opened the door, they shot out. Well, he's Baxter down. I don't even know if Milo was in here. Was he in here?
He didn't come in. He was waiting at the door, but he never came in.
Okay, so it was just Baxter.
But they're very happy that we're back.
Yes, they are. They missed us terribly when we were up. We were upstate. Dad was here, but Baxter's kind of my cat, so he didn't see me, and he started getting really lonely. Milo's everybody's cat. Milo likes Mom, Dad, anybody that comes in. So, that's the thing. Some cats, and especially male cats, tend to attach themselves to one person, where female cats usually will like everybody or like nobody, like Cassie. That cat, yeah, psycho cat. That's why we will not own another female cat. And I apologize in advance for people that like their female cats. You said it. We've never had luck with female cats. We've owned 2 female cats, and they were both psychotic. I'm not saying they were just a little weird. They were bona fide psycho.
But my sister has one as sweet as can be, and my friend had one that was sweet, Fiona.
Fiona was nice. I don't know, though. Lucy could be a little funny at times, too.
Okay.
But it is what it is. We just don't have any luck with them. Eric Brunhammer, the updates are done on the netbook. It runs LibreOffice Writer just fine, which is all I need for it. Hey, if it works for that, that's great. I mean, for basic office tasks, maybe watching. Well, I'm not even gonna say watching a YouTube video because you really can't even do that with the Ion processor anymore. But just for word processing, yeah, you should be fine.
Yeah, mostly female cat. We just didn't luck out with them.
I remember, yeah, Eric has his orange cat,
Oh.
Rotella. She is cute. If I ever come up to visit you, I'm gonna try. I can't wait to see her. She was adorable. I've seen pictures, but never met her in person.
Oh, you know,
Ah,
I'm getting
what?
tired. I think I'm going to say goodbye. I'm
All
starting to
right.
yawn a lot,
Yeah, Mom
so
came in for a few minutes.
just
We've
to
been
say
very
hi.
busy today. She went out with a friend of hers, so we'll see
Yep.
you next time,
Shopping. All
hopefully.
right. Bye-bye.
I386 said, my Windows 7 desktop I am on now wanted to reboot for an update, but I postponed 4 hours. We'll reboot after the stream. Well, thank you. But if it's something security related, you may want to do it now and then just come back a little later. Everybody says bye. All right. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, don't know if I'm going to make an hour tonight either because I got my exercising in. I'll give you the fitness report right now. I am at 18,131 steps, and that is not counting about the 6 or 7 mile bike ride I did this morning. So, on top of that, I also refurbished 2 more computer towers and also sold one today and had to carry it in and out. Plus, I did a lot of walking inside. I am spent. I am absolutely tired. And that's one thing that kind of bugs me about my place in the fitness realm, I should say now. I like exercising, don't get me wrong. That's kind of like how I get my high now. But at the end of the day, like around this time, 8:30, 9 o'clock, I am ready for bed. As a matter of fact, lately I have been going to bed around 9, 9:30, 10 o'clock at the latest because I just can't stay awake anymore. Coffee kicked in, Sonic Wang. I don't drink coffee at night because that would keep me awake. But if you want to get an idea of how much coffee I do drink, well, we can figure it out. I actually have 2 cups in the morning. What I do is I have my Keurig. I brew 2 different K cups in the morning, and they're usually the same ones, usually 8 o'clock or Mick Cafe. One 10 ounce brewed at 10 ounces and one at 8 ounces because I have a 16-ounce mug that I put them in, a little copper mug, and I have to have enough room for the creamer, the half and half. So I have 2 of those through the day. So that's 16 ounces, so 10, 10, so that's 32 ounces there. And then I usually have one 10-ounce coffee later on in the afternoon. So I have 2 of those in the morning and then one in the afternoon. So if my math is correct, that's about 42 ounces of coffee a day, which really isn't a lot for somebody my size, but it keeps me going. Let's put it that way. Mark Covington asks, where did you get your just one more episode shirt? I have 2 of these. I got these at a garage sale. They're large, and believe it or not, they're actually on the smaller side for large shirts. They're kind of form-fitting on me in the belly area. I like them, but they're starting to wear out. So these may have to be relegated to rags eventually. Kind of sad because I do like these shirts. Maybe I can find some more online. Brad Smith, hi Matt. Hey, I had citywide garage sale and I got really lucky today. A compact Presario 1800 wanted $25, offered 20 and took it. Let me look that one up because I do not remember that particular one. Okay, was that the Okay, I'm not really finding it here. I'll have to take your word for it. I mean, I'm sure it was a good deal. Honestly, I just don't. I don't remember that particular model. Oh, okay. Yeah, it was one of the older. Now I remember. It was one of the older white box compacts, the ones that kind of looked like eggs. They had different. It's funny because this was at the time when everything was becoming more curvy, more aerodynamic, more. I, curvy is the best way I can describe it. And I always remember that those had a lot of like circles on them that kind of looked like eggs, like where you would have the USB ports. You would open up kind of like an egg-shaped plastic door. Some of them didn't have it. The other ones just had a cover over it. I think they use that model for a lot of different systems, honestly. Because if you look up Compact Presario 1800 on, do a quick Google search, you'll find Presario 1800 laptops and desktops, and from different eras. So I think that was kind of a generic model for a whole lot of different computers. Boy, really itchy today. And I'm surprised too because I've been putting a lot of lotion on my face and it's been humid. Usually I only get itchy when the humidity drops below 50%. All right, tubers, I am going to have to end this live stream here. I do apologize. I didn't get the hour in, but I am feeling very tired. Hope you guys have a great Friday night. Enjoy your weekend. We will be back tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as always, have a blessed day, everybody.